So today is going to be my 2-year review of the QuickJack. Do you need it? Should you get one? All of the pros and cons of having a system like this. And we're also going to set up a new one. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. Today is roughly 2 years since I started using my QuickJack system, the 5000TL. That's the system I've used for roughly 2 years. We've had it underneath a Corvette ZR1, underneath a C8 Corvette, underneath a C7 Corvette. We've had them underneath a lot of cars at this point, and they have functioned very well. We're going to talk about all of the pros and cons today, as well as unbox and set up a new system from QuickJack, and I'll tell you why I'm changing, and it has nothing to do with reliability because this system has been great. Let's dive into this and talk all about it. All right, so as you can see here, it's upside down, but the system I have is a 5000TL. I have it mounted up on the wall. These things have been absolutely fantastic. Like I said, we've used them on all kinds of cars. They have saved a lot of back-breaking work of jacking a car up, sitting it up on jack stands, and honestly, that stuff's a little dangerous. These things are a lot safer, a lot easier to use, and you can maintain the car up in the air for as long as you want. So if you wanted to have it sit up on these for the winter time or something, you could do that as well. These things are absolute lifesavers, but we're changing something out today while we're talking about the overall review of the QuickJack system because I need ones that are slightly longer. The C8 Corvette wheelbase is a little too long for the 5000TLs, and luckily QuickJack offers a system for that called the 5000TLX, which stands for extended. So it's about 6 inches longer than this one altogether, and that will help me reach both jack points on the C8 Corvette. Again, there's nothing wrong with the 5000TLs. They have served their purpose very well over the last 2 years. But I just need something that's going to be a little bit longer and reach both jack points. And by now you guys are probably saying, well, wait a second, Justin. QuickJack offers an extension bar that can go on top of the 5000TL to thus give you the length of the 5000TLX. You're right. The problem for me is it also adds about 1.5 inches of height, and that won't fit under my lowered car. So for me, the only option is the 5000TLX or the 7000TLX, which lifts more weight, but still has that longer reach to reach both jack points of the C8 Corvette. So here we go with the unboxing of the 5000TLX. Now, like I said, I've already had the 5000TL system, so the pump and the hoses and the fluid and everything else will work exactly the same with the 5000TLX. So all I had to do was get new rails. I didn't need a new pump. I didn't need to do any of that. So we're going to set these up. I'm going to put them under the car, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, because the 5000TLs that are back there on the wall actually reach fine on the C7 Corvette, but not the C8. The C8 has a little bit of a longer space between jack points that you need the TLX for. So that's the only reason I'm swapping them out. But let's talk about all of the pros and cons of these things, because there really is a massive amount of pros to them. So here we have the 5000TLX and the 5000TL right beside each other. They're identically built. The only difference is right there, roughly 6 inches longer on the TLX. And that's really all it takes to fit under the C8 Corvette because of those extended jack points. So if you're in the market for one of these and you have a C8 Corvette, the TLX is the one you want. And usually if there's any price difference at all, it's very minimal. We are going to have to swap over this little hose right here over to the new one. But other than that, everything is going to be kind of plug and play because we already have these things set up. Now, obviously, I've done a lot of work with these things. Most of it has been done on the C8 Corvette here. And I'll tell you what, guys, these things are absolute lifesavers. They allow you to get the car so high up in the air that you can use a creeper to roll around the bottom of the car with. You can change the oil, the transmission fluid, the differential fluid. I added track-specific parts to the bottom of my ZR1 with this. You can get the car high enough in the air to do pretty much anything you want. So I have zero complaints with this system. The only thing I would say that's a con on the QuickJack system is probably the weight of these rails. They are roughly 75 to 80 pounds a piece, and I obviously have mine hung up there on the wall. well, but getting them down off the wall, maneuvering them around the ground can be a little bit of a bear. But once you get them in position, these things will literally save your life working on a car. They are much safer than a jack with jack stands. They're quicker, hence the quick jack part. But seriously, they get the things up in the air a lot faster than an actual jack does, and it's also safer. They're small enough that they can be discreetly kind of tucked away in your garage as well, and that's not even the best part. The way you can kind of tuck away the entire like unit for these is really cool. If you guys have work cabinets like I do in your garage, that's where I actually hid the unit for this. It's right down in here. It hides right underneath there. So it never has to come out. I actually routed the wire up underneath and into an outlet. So all I have to do is just plug these hoses in and grab the button right there to start lifting the things up, and you're good to go. You can hide this thing pretty nicely once you have it all set up. So once I disconnect those rails, close up these doors of my cabinets, there's really no evidence that I even have this system here. Really an awesome pro to this unit is that it's pretty invisible whenever it's all set up. It's super functional with use on cars, trucks, whatever it is you want to use it for. Like I said, the only con I can really think of is the weight of these rails. So we're going to set these things up as if they were the 5000TL unit because, like I said, this has technically been 2 years I've been using these. So all I'm going to do is swap over this hose to the new one, and then we're going to show you exactly how to get it under the car, lift it up, and all that good stuff. The QuickJacks, like I said, they weigh roughly 78 to 80 pounds each. So not light, but not super heavy either. If you do get the included wall hangers like I have, you can actually see they sit on the ground. Those wall hangers really just keep them upright. You lift it up off of it, and then there are wheels at the bottom, as you can see here, and then you can kind of drop it back towards yourself and roll it where you need it to go. So the wheels are obviously very useful. You can kind of maneuver it around however you want. Obviously in this case we're going to maneuver it right underneath the car. The wheels are only on one end, so you have to kind of hold it at an angle like he's doing there, but you get it as close to the side of the car as possible, and then we're going to go ahead and slide it under, line everything up, and that's at that point is when you'd be able to lift the car. If you want to get this done in the most appropriate way possible, obviously you want to use these wheels at the end as much as you possibly can, but there is an official tool that QuickJack actually sends you for ease of moving this thing around once it's on the ground. So this is the tool that it comes with. It really is very simple. It's just a piece of metal with a handle and kind of an open spot here to grab the rail of the QuickJack itself. So right here, you would basically just insert it right there, and now you can have a little bit more leverage when pulling it around on the ground. Or best way to use it is once it's under the car, you actually hook it to the frame like that to then pull it out from underneath the car. So those are included with the QuickJacks. Now we also get 2 hydraulic hoses that will come with the QuickJack rails as well as the hydraulic pump. And these are put together by you. If you want to see those put together, of course, we've already done a video on that, which was linked to this one. You guys can see up here somewhere. But ultimately, we put these quick connects on here. And the way the quick connect works is you actually take off the little green cap, which is like a dust cap, and then you literally just push them together. Just like that. Now, they are connected, and they're not going to leak any hydraulic fluid out while doing this. Now, after you're done and you want to disconnect those, line up that little pin, and then you just disconnect it. And now you can see there's a dab of fluid on there, but for the most part, both ends are not leaking, and they maintain the pressure of the hydraulic fluid in there as well. Then you can just put this cap back on, and you can store the hoses. Like I said earlier, I house my pump inside of the cabinets here to make it so it's not as messy. And this is where you would connect the other end of the hydraulic hose. Again, quick connects on all sides here. You literally just take the same end, plug it in just the same as you do on the rails themselves. It connects one there and then one underneath, so you have both of your rails set up to the pump. Same thing for disconnecting. Line up that little pin, pop it off, and that's it. Clean off the little bit of fluid, put the caps back on so everything's nice and clean, and then in my case I can close up the cabinet and it's like nothing was here. So with the QuickJack rails, you get a couple different options of rubber blocks as well, because these areas right here are where your contact points are, and you need something that's going to contact the car that's not going to damage the car. These are real dense rubber blocks. So you basically set them on there like that, line them up with your jacking points, and then put these things up in the air. Now, you can get different sizes, because if you see from the side, that sticks up about 1.25 inches or so. If you want it to stick up less than that, there are thinner blocks, like this one right here is roughly overall about 1.25 inches, so it would sit up above that rail just barely. And then you have ones that are a little bit bigger, designed for your pinch weld areas. There's all kinds of different options for these. So depending on how high you want it to sit before sliding it under the car, that's what you would set up with these blocks. One other thing to keep in mind is that this sticker right here that actually talks all about the QuickJack and what it is and all that, this sticker should face towards the side of the car that has the most weight. So in this case with the C8 Corvette, that should actually be facing the other way. The car should lift back because all the weight is in the back of this car. If you have a C7 Corvette, you would want that sticker in the front because all the weight is in the front of the car. But it really doesn't matter from what I've seen. QuickJack tells you to do that, but I haven't actually seen a problem doing it either way. I almost always have this lift forward because that pump is stored in my cabinet back there. What we have to do from here to get it under the car is obviously just kind of nudge it under, and it does slide pretty easily. There's not really any resistance here. What we're going to do is line up that big rubber block that I showed you earlier. We're going to line it up with the jack pad. So you can see that red jack pad under there. So once that's lined up, we are basically ready to go. We can start the lift process. Now that's really it. That's all you have to do. You line up those rubber blocks with your stock jack or lift locations, and you lift the car. All right, so we got the new QuickJacks under there, the 5000 TLX. We're going to go ahead and use this little guy here and pump these things up. Here we go. This is the main pro for these things, is just how easy it is to get, you know, a 3,000, 4,000 pound car up in the air. And this is just the first stop. So you have that much room right off the bat. And if we take it all the way up, you get about 24 to 26 inches of clearance underneath. Really an easy thing to do. And it's a much safer thing to do because whenever we lowered it back down, it actually goes into a stop on there and locks into place. So even if one of those hydraulic cylinders were to fail right now, it wouldn't matter. The car is not going anywhere. It's locked into place. Safer to do it this way, and of course easier. I can't think of another con other than the weight of the things. Other than that, these things really seem to do it all. So really nicely set up where it gives you a bunch of room to do things under there. Once we get it up all the way up into the air, you'll be able to see you can easily get underneath the car, do oil changes, do tire rotations. Honestly, you could do that at this height or even a little bit less. And you could do all kinds of your own maintenance on your car without having to take it to a mechanic. Or you borrow someone's lift or anything. Like these things are the real deal. Okay, and here it is at full articulation basically. It's about 24 to 26 inches in the air. You can easily get under there with a creeper, roll around, do what you need to do. Like I said, oil changes, anything you need to do under the car, brake changes up here with taking the wheels off. Get a little close to the door, but it does work. Really a lot of clearance under here, guys. I can't stress this enough with how easily you can get underneath the car now and do whatever you need to do. There is a crap ton of room under there. It really helps. So again, if you have a C8 Corvette, you're going to want to get the 5000 TLX, not the 5000 TLs, even though these will work with pretty much any other car I've seen. These work beautifully with my C7 Corvette, but the C8 needs just that little bit extra space to contact the jack pads. I have used the 5000 TLs on the C8 before, and you can make it work. It's just, you know, if you want it to be safe, you want to make sure it's contacting those jack points of the car. So yeah, we're all about safety here. I'm a big fan of QuickJack. I always have been. But the 5000 TLs are getting retired for the 5000 TLXs, and the only reason is the C8 Corvette. One more pretty big pro that I would talk about with the QuickJacks is going to be price. If you want to get a lift system put in your garage that's going to do something similar to this, even if you did have higher ceilings where you could put in a 2-post lift, you're not going to get it for the price you can get these QuickJacks for. QuickJack, the 5000 TL costs roughly $1,100 to $1,300 depending on when you get discounts. Sometimes there's promotions run and stuff like that. So you're well under $1,500 for either one of these two sets if you buy them at the right time of year. Whereas with a 2-post lift, you're at between $3,000 and $4,000 easy plus installation, and that's if you have ceilings tall enough for it, which I don't. So this is really, really a nice setup to have if you are a do-it-yourselfer kind of guy. I know Dana and I we've used these things for a bunch of different things. I put my new wheels on using these. I put the front splitter on using these. Yeah, we did oil changes on both of our C7s. I did an oil change on this. I actually did the transmission fluid and differential fluid on this. You did the did the differential fluid with his TLs. So, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can be doing with these things. It's absolutely fantastic. It's an awesome unit. And again, just to show you that ground clearance, that's the real deal right there, guys. Anyway, guys, if you like the review here, I really don't have anything bad to say about the QuickJacks. I've had no problems with them in the 2 years I've been using them. They have helped me do a bunch of stuff to the cars. They've helped him do a bunch of stuff to his car. And now we're moving on to the 5000 TLX only because of the length. There is nothing wrong with these. Actually, if any of you guys out there want to buy these, let me know. They are for sale at this point. Yeah, I would give them a huge thumbs up. The 2-year review is all positive, minus how much they weigh, which of course really isn't going to be able to change because you kind of have to use material to lift a 3,000 or 4,000 pound car. So it is what it is. So there you have it, guys. Like I said, the QuickJacks have been really useful. Dana and I have used them on all kinds of cars a bunch of different times, doing a bunch of different things, whether it's oil changes, transmission fluid changes, differential fluid changes, getting underneath the cars to put on aero pieces, all kinds of stuff. I mean, these things are 100% useful almost 100% of the time. Actually, I also swapped out all 4 of my wheels using these before because the jack does go up to 2 locking locations. The first locking location is really for wheel work because it's not that high off the ground where you can still easily pop the wheel on. QuickJack and the people who make it, they're very conscious of what we're doing with these things and how they're useful for the cars. So having that first locking location is great for wheel and tire work. The second location is better for getting under there and doing your oil changes or dropping a transmission if you had to, stuff like that. So again, guys, roughly 80 pounds, but you're only really lifting half of that weight to get the QuickJack in the air. You're allowing those wheels on the other end to do the majority of the work to kind of maneuver it around in your garage, away from your car, away from the pole or anything that might be in your way. Then they wheel over to the wall, and then we can basically just pull it up in the air a hair, latch it up on that clip, that QuickJack you can buy straight from them, and that's that. Like I said, those are not actually supporting the weight of the QuickJacks. The weight is on the floor. These are really just holding them against the wall for storage purposes. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, QuickJacks are super useful. Dana and I have used them on a bunch of different cars, like I said. What do you think? What do you like the idea of the QuickJack?
I love it. I want to get ones for my truck. QuickJack, you know, 7,000, baby.
So we do obviously need a bigger QuickJack for the Ram TRX because they weigh so much. They're like 6,500 pounds. Your number designation here, so obviously the 5000 TLX that I have, the 5000 is how much weight these can lift. The TL is your normal setup. The TLX is, the X stands for extended, which we needed for the C8 Corvette. If we got the 7000 TLX, it would support 7,000 pounds and also be an extended rail, which you're going to need for the TRX again because how big that truck is. That's pretty much going to do it. That's my 2-year review of these things, even though we did also set up a new set of them. I have had no problems with the 5000 TLs. We got the TLX just for the C8 Corvette. We've used them probably 20 times, maybe more in the 2 years. Never a problem with leaking, no problems with like the car dropping or anything. These things are pretty secure and honestly, probably a lot safer than putting it up on a jack. So thumbs up to QuickJack. Definitely grab a set of these if you could. If you have a C8, make sure you get the TLX version. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. And as always,
stay obsessed.
Stay obsessed.